It's Ross Day. Finally, the wait is over. Ross integration is here, and we know many of you have been asking for this. We have worked closely with Ross to implement their native OGP protocol, delivering super deep control right at your fingertips. And with this integration, any SKAARHOJ panel can be used, from the compact live fly to the powerful mega panel, giving you full control of your Ross setup. And that is a game changer for your Ross-based live production with SKAARHOJ gear. This is Master Key One. This is Waveboard Mini, so an audio fader board. I'll come back to that in the end of the video. And those will be our models of choice today for controlling the Ross switchers in plural. Because what you're looking at right here, just quickly, is the web UI coming straight out of the Master Key One. This PoE network, so power and network over a single cable, everything is in this unit. This one talks straight to the Ross Carbonite or the simulation environment, so we don't need a computer in between. And it can work alongside the native Ross panel or dashboard, any way you want. All right, so this is the UI of the Master Key One, just to let you know that it controls Master Key One, and it's also the master of the Waveboard Mini panel over here, and it has connection to two devices, Carbonite Plus and Carbonite Ultra, on these IP addresses. So to verify the actions we will perform on this panel, we have here a view of a dashboard for the first of the two Ross devices we're controlling. So let's get right to it. We can select sources on preview. We can select sources on program. We can cut between them. We can do auto transitions. We can use the T-bar if we want to. And I can also do it the other way around. So if I select a preview source here on dashboard, we see it's reflected on the Master Key One. Same if I actually do that for program. If I do cut, we see it would be the same as pressing cut over here. I can also enable keys, so I'll do that with these buttons over here, and I can also control that from dashboard. So there's full duplex here. They are essentially talking to the same frame, and the Master Key One and dashboard are both getting and sending information. So when one sends, another one receives the update automatically. That's how it should always be, but it's not always like that. So this is why I like to kind of highlight it. We can also set the frame rate here. I think we find that information somewhere in the UI. Well, not right now. I'm not sure I see it. We can preview transition on and off here. We can select which key will go along with the next transition. We can deselect it in the UI if we want. We can also select which transition type we're using by using these buttons over here. And on a panel like the one from SKAARHOJ, you find labels in displays that will tell you what each button basically does. And it's shown right here for the selection of transitions. Now, this little menu, the ME, that's interesting because if you look at this, and if you are a Ross fan, you know that the switcher can be configured in different ways, giving you different MEs, mini MEs, and what else do we have here? Multi-screens, and we'll see on the other Ross switcher as well, we have even more canvas and stuff like that. So if I go to ME2, you see that corresponds to ME2 here. You go to mini ME1, and if I select that, that's actually what you see right here. So the reflection in this menu corresponds to the setup of your Carbonite, okay? So you get the options that is in the Carbonite. We'll see that in a moment. So of course I can change to the other MEs, mini MEs, and multi-screens here and use any of those from the panel as well. And the panel will basically adapt to whatever we chose over there. Like in this case, you could see how the mini ME1 was operated, and now we are back at ME number 1 here. All right, so what else do we want to dive into? Maybe it's okay for now, but I want to take you into the engineering menu and show you a really cool feature that now we can move this panel over to the other Carbonite that we want to control today. So first I'll do it in dashboard. In dashboard, I'll leave the soft panel for this Carbonite, and then I will rather choose this soft panel for the other one that we'll be controlling today. Just bring it up in full screen here. And now we are looking at the other Carbonite. So that Carbonite, if we go to the web UI of the Master Key One, you see that is device ID number 2, the Carbonite Ultra, okay? So on the panel, I hold down Shift, enter into the engineering menu, and that allows me on this knob to change by pressing the side of the button. This is a 4-way button, by the way, so it's like an encoder, and I can now go to number 2. So I select number 2, I exit, and now I'm actually controlling the second Ross Carbonite, okay? And you see that in dashboard alongside here. So I could go through the same demonstration, but I won't, because I want to highlight that we are reflecting what the switch is set up to do. So you see the menu up here is currently MEPP. We have ME1 to MiniMEs. We have canvases. All right, so if I press the side of this one, you can see I'm browsing through these, getting to canvas 1 and 2 instead of the multi-screens we had just a moment ago. So it reflects the setup of your Carbonite switcher, okay? And that's the point that I wanted to convey to you right now. So let's look at the other options. We have, first of all, bus here. And if we go into bus, then we are now selecting between the auxiliaries, and that depends, or that determines what this row of buttons is doing. So let me see, where was that? We can select the aux bus right here. Go to aux bus number 1, and now you'll see that we have reflection of the aux bus here. I can also go the other way, and you see this knob is adjusting to it. If I go to aux bus number 2 by this key, then we are now operating the second aux bus, etc. Okay, we'll now take a look at the custom controls inside of Carbonite and how we can operate them from the Master Key One. So we go to CC for custom control, and what we see here is basically the first row of them on page number 1 in the first bank. And that's what you see in the UI right here. I've changed over to custom use here. And if I press that button, that would correspond to me pressing this one. And if I press it multiple times, you can see how many times it's running and doing its thing. All right. So things I want to show you is that we can select the different banks. So if I go to bank number 4, we are essentially seeing this. Not a lot to see in there. If I go to bank number 2, this is what you see. You can see we can execute the wipe that sits up here. It's also possible for us to page down to this line down here, and it says also the label of the custom control and so on. So basically the grid that you know from inside of dashboard is broken out onto a single row of buttons with a paging button over here, and also different banks you can choose up to bank number 8 by using this paging button. All right, so let's go to bank number 1. And just focus on what we had up here in that bank. I want to show you that we can, apart from executing these, if I do that, you can see it's counting up the same number that is shown here for how many custom controls are running. And but I wanted to show you that we can actually color these from inside of dashboard. So if you go to touch drive mnemonics, then clicking this one would allow you to name it. And the moment that I exit that field, you see the name is updated on the display of the Master Key One. That's great. Of course it is. And you can also choose the color of it. So now it became purple or red or orange or yellow or green or blue. Whatever you like can be customized from inside of dashboard and shown directly on the Master Key One. Before we end this video, I want to show you that we can control audio inside of dashboard as well. And I think this is also a really anticipated feature, having a fader board for dashboard like this one. So Waveboard Mini is the small version of our Waveboard, which has 8 faders in each bank. We have buttons over here to select which bank that you want to operate. We just go to the first bank. And this is the view of dashboard of the audio mixer that we are controlling. So if I move the faders, you'll see that I'm also moving the faders in the software. Likewise, if I pull the faders in the software, they'll move along on the panel. All right. Let me just see. I need to grab it firmly. There we go. Now the panel is moving along. That's nice. All right. So we also have these buttons for muting. And I can demute, of course, in the software. I could also solo channels, and I could have audio follow video, and I can also disable that from the buttons here in the UI. I can even adjust the balance. So if you look for the balance up here in this corner, you see that I am adjusting the value using the encoder knob on top, of course. And if I go to the second bank, I just get the faders on the next 4 channels here, and I can of course, operate those as you would expect. So isn't that pretty cool? That is a really nice addition, and it fits with the Master Key One or any SKAARHOJ product. So when they sort of click together like this, they just become one unified surface. And this is how you can build, like Legos, your control experience with SKAARHOJ products. You can do that with the Master Key One and additional modules. You can also see how the mega panel in the background here is a perfect fit for creating such a large surface with multiple individual modules. You can have as many MEs as you want. You can have as many direct inputs as you want by adding these sections onto into the frame and setting it all up inside of Reactor that will talk straight from the Master Key One to your dashboard, to your Carbonite, without any need of a computer in between. If you like this video, I suggest you like and subscribe to stay up to date with our latest innovations. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and X, and you can subscribe to our newsletter for exclusive updates. Our friendly sales and support team is always ready to help you as well, and all the links to that good stuff is in the video description below.